Join us in the next episode of Connect, where we interview Sarah Gill and Georgia Tuckett about their experience with the Paramatildas and the Pararoos with our national sporting organisation with Football Australia.
Hi everyone, I'm Marty Fry and I'm honoured to be presenting at the 2025 Massage and Myotherapy Australia National Conference this June in Perth. The topic of my presentation is Move, Stretch, Breathe. In this session, we'll begin with an overview of the theories behind mobility, flexibility and the breath. We'll discuss the implications they can present, why we need to be functional in these areas and their impact on the way we move. We'll discuss underpinning foundations behind mobility and flexibility and the many theories surrounding these techniques and some of the supporting research. We all require movement and breathing to sustain our daily life, so we'll examine the why behind these modalities. Because when the why behind these techniques becomes clearer, the how to utilise them becomes easier. We'll also have the opportunity to explore our own movement, discuss and share techniques and experiences on how to improve mobility and flexibility, as well as including some assisted stretching techniques. And then we'll look at how we can incorporate these techniques in our clients' daily life and importantly in our own clinical practices. We're in a profession where our body and our hands are our main tool, so becoming aware of our own mobility and flexibility is critical in having a long-lasting career, enhancing our potential as a therapist. Breathing is an autonomic action we often have a tendency to forget, and we forget the influence it has on our movement ability, our concentration and focus, the ability to influence our nervous system, and the impact it can have on our overall health and well-being. So we'll explore some simple and effective techniques to bring awareness to our own breathing and to encourage good functional breathing practices, which will not only assist our clients, but will also be beneficial for our own self-care. And as therapists, we understand the importance of self-care, but unfortunately, many of us tend to neglect our own self-care as we get caught up in the busyness of clinic life or business. So a lot of the focus on this session is on transferable skills that not only benefit your clients, but you can utilise for your own self-care practices. And one of the great benefits of these techniques, they don't require fancy, expensive equipment. They simply require an understanding and time, which enables them to be easily used and taught to your clients and made part of their treatment planning. So sticking with the conference theme of enhancing potential for you and your clients, these methods can be of great practical use for not only your client outcomes, but for your own self-care. So I look forward to seeing you in June at the National Conference in Perth.
In 2023, Massage and Myotherapy Australia, under its awards program, partnered with Football Australia Limited, Football Australia, the governing body for football soccer in Australia and a member of Fédération Internationale de Football Association, FIFA, to sponsor 2 Massage and Myotherapy Australia members to work with the para teams, the Pararoos and the Paramatildas, at the 2024 International Federation of Cerebral Palsy Football World Cup. Scholarships recipients Sarah and Georgia travelled to Spain to support the teams at this prestigious event. Hi, Sarah, and welcome to Connect. You're a member of Massage and Myotherapy Australia. How long have you been a massage therapist for?
Oh, Selena, I've been a massage therapist for 20 years. So I think I'm probably part of the first kind of groups of people who joined up with Massage and Myotherapy Australia with its previous name.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've been about 25 years now as well. Yeah. So we're in about the same genre, aren't we?
Absolutely, yeah.
So how did you feel when you were selected for the Massage and Myotherapy Australia scholarship to work with the para teams?
Selena, I was really excited to get that opportunity. So it was one of those things that when I'd seen a few of these emails come through for the sporting scholarships. And when this one came through, I thought, if ever there is something that is completely my jam, this is it, because I do work quite a lot with clients with disabilities and in NDIS through the work I do as a lymphedema practitioner. And I do have experience in sports massages as well. But I thought I have to apply for this, but I didn't really think I would get the position. And when I got the notification, I was very excited because I'm very passionate about women's sports and also about para sports.
Sounds like it was really, really up your alley then.
Yeah, it was. And look, I was really fortunate as well that, Vince Cosentini, who's the head of massage for Football Australia and also used to be on the board of Massage and Myotherapy, when he notified me that I got the position, and then I got to speak to him on the phone quite shortly afterwards. And that was really great to have that introduction from him and a welcome into it straight away. So I felt immediately that this is the place that I'm meant to be working with at the moment. So it was great.
So that leads me into my next question. There was a lot of work in the lead up to you heading away. Tell us about the workshops and the training and the camps that you completed with Football Australia before you left.
Yep. So the very first tournament I did with them was actually the Para Asia Cup, which was held in Bundoora in Melbourne. And so I was with the Para Matildas, and that was a 16-day camp and tournament. So there was like a pre-camp and then the tournament, and that I really hit the ground running with that, because it was really only 3 weeks notice from when we'd been accepted into the position to coming on board with the team. And the team itself, the staff, were fantastically welcoming to me straight away, and it was great to have excellent managers, and also to know that I had that communication with Vince if I needed to speak to him. So I did that camp. That was the whirlwind. We did win the Para Asia Cup, which was fantastic. And then after that, we had 3 domestic squad camps, and the domestic squad camps are really 3-day camps where they're kind of developing the style that they might be playing, but also getting to know the team. There's a lot of well-being meetings as well. We might be looking at video footage, and it's a lot about team bonding. And one of those camps was held at the Australian Institute of Sport, and that was fantastic. I said to one of the players, she's 17, and I said, here you are, 17-year-old rocking into the Australian Institute of Sport. I said, I'm 52, but I got here. Got here in some capacity, and it was really great to see those sporting facilities.
And you're never too old to hit those goals and reach those.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing about putting yourself out for something when you think, oh no, that might have gone past me a little bit. So that was really great. And in those squad camps, because the Para Matildas they're quite a new team. They've only been around for 2.5 years. So at that point, they weren't just developing their sense style of play and like their defensive and offensive and their fitness, but they were also working on their values and what their team culture was going to be. And because I'd come in at that point, I had that great opportunity to sit in and contribute with that, with as a staff and a player group, and watch how that evolved over the 12 months that I was actually with the team. So that was something that probably I didn't expect that I'd get the opportunity to do, but I feel was of great value to me, and to also actually see the sequence of how they went through to work that out was really good.
That sounds so rewarding.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you so much for chatting with us on Connect today, Sarah. It's been fascinating to get an insight into your experience with the Paramatildas, and I really hope, which I think it absolutely will, inspire a lot of our members to follow in your footsteps and apply for some of these scholarships that we have on offer, because it obviously offers a huge amount personally and professionally to our members to participate in one of these scholarships. So thank you so much. I've really enjoyed chatting today. Hi, Georgia. Welcome to Connect. As a member of Massage and Myotherapy Australia, can you tell us a little bit about how long you've been a massage therapist, and how did you feel when you were selected for the Massage and Myotherapy Australia scholarship to work with the para teams?
Yeah, I've been a massage therapist now for about 2.5 years. So when I got the call up after my application, I was just so stoked because I love working in sport. I love watching sport. So then when I applied, I was just like, this sounds awesome. So then, yeah, getting the call from Vince was really cool. It was a really cool opportunity to work with a team, not just like on a one-off event, but like over durational time, which I think can be pretty hard to come by in early on in your career, such as mine. So yeah, when I got that opportunity from Vince, I was just over the moon, really.
So touching on that, there was a lot of work in the lead up to going away with the teams.
Yep.
Can you tell us a little bit about the workshops and the training and the camps that you attended beforehand?
Yeah, definitely. So the first one I attended was the Asia World Cup in Melbourne. That was at the end of 2023. So that was like a 2-week camp that also had their Asia Cup. So it was like a week to kind of get into training, and then a week of like games and things as well. The day-to-day stuff of that, like you kind of just got thrown into it, but it was like really cool just being able to like adapt pretty quickly to their like training schedules. And there was a really good foundation with the Pararoos that I worked with. Like they have like a really good history. They have all their like core values they're working with. So just slotting into that and learning that from the get-go was pretty awesome. As well as like pretty much as soon as I got there, they were just so accommodating to me being there. They made sure pretty sure I spoke to almost every player the day I got there. So they were very accommodating. So the transition to being part of the team didn't feel like you're a bit of a stranger, which was nice because sometimes it can be a bit daunting going into like well-established teams. And then, yeah, your day-to-day kind of varied a little bit, but generally like always a treatment window throughout the day. I worked alongside two like extremely professional, extremely friendly physios, Daniel Giorgio and Rick Whitehead. So I worked with them at the Asia Cup, and they, you know, ran a real well-oiled machine, you know. So it was cool to like learn from them because they'd been doing it for a lot longer than I had. So yeah, we always had a treatment window. Usually you'd go and watch trainings. So even just like going to like their meetings and hearing about them talk about their values, even just like hearing them talk about how you wanted to present at dinner, from how you wanted to present at dinner versus then how you present on the field, like just getting to learn all that like from the get-go was pretty good. And then I did a few camps this 2024, sorry. So I would fly to Sydney. I think I did about 3 in Sydney. It was like fly up on a Friday and then straight into it again. Usually, again, you got your treatment window, you've got a training to watch, either like a practice game, but those ones are like extremely fast paced. You're in and out within like 3 days, and everything's go, go, go. And then leading up to the not the Asia Cup, the World Cup in Spain, there was like a few Zoom meetings and things. So people would like just discuss kind of the process. Benny Roach, the team manager, was really good at always like communicating everything that was happening. We had a WhatsApp group as well, so you could ask any questions if you need to. And then, straight into the World Cup in Spain, which was just epic.
So what was your typical day like whilst you were in Spain? What was the routine? Was each player you treated different, or were there themes in how you treated your athletes? And did you get any downtime? Did you actually get to do any sightseeing, anything like that?
So typical day depends if it was like a training day or like a game day, as how it kind of ran. So if it was like a training day, we always did morning monitoring first up. So that's where the players come in, they check in with Dan, the head physio. They do their weigh in and they do a groin squeeze. So there's like a way to monitor. They also have to do like a mental wellbeing check-in online and fill everything out. So I always made sure I was there for those, just to see how each player was pulling up each day. Then you head off to breakfast. Usually then there'll be like a training. So you head off to training, set up for training, watch the training, you come back, we'll do recovery. So when we were in Spain, I think they did a few sessions in the pool, a few sessions at the gym. So I always attended those as well. Then there'd usually be like a meeting later on in the day for like a team meeting. So if there was a game the next day, they'd be talking their tactics, they'd be talking their starting lineups, that kind of stuff. And then dinner, the usual kind of thing, early to bed. So like on training days, there was like a little bit of downtime, I guess. Match days were a little bit different in terms of we still did the check-in, but like then we'd go on a team walk all together. Breakfast, usually the team meeting would be before the game. So then you're re-going over those tactics. And then I was part of the early departure crew each time. So I would go ahead of the team and set up the change room. So like set up their uniforms, set up the snacks, get the ice, set up a massage table, that kind of stuff. And then watch the game. So, and then we would usually head back to recovery, dinner, treatments then usually as well. Dan, the head physio, would usually just send out a treatment window. Me, Rick, and Dan would have like set players. Over the course of the World Cup, we generally just tried to treat the same people. So if they were coming in with kind of the same things, we'd do the same people. So we all kind of like had like a rapport with that person, and we could see if there was any noticeable changes. If there was anything to flag, then Dan and Rick would usually do like a reassessment on them. But usually my stuff was more your soft tissue base. So just anyone that was feeling a little bit tight. I did treat a lot of calves, which is always fun. But mainly with the treatment plan for the players, it was just like checking in with them, seeing how their body was feeling that day, any tight areas, just trying to see what we could work through in like usually like a roughly 20-minute time window. A lot of the players I saw usually had the same kind of things presenting day to day. And then it was always just about like monitoring their pain in terms of like CP side versus non-CP side. The CP side was always a lot more like sensitive to pressure, so just being really careful of that, always checking in with the players as well. And then also like even just like trying to think about how then like is the CP affecting their pain, or is it like actual like presenting like trigger point kind of pain. So yeah, it was just very interesting day to day changes, as well as I think the interesting thing for me about treating athletes is can be very result dependent. So like if they didn't necessarily get a good result, if they didn't get to play the starting 7, if they had a bad time at training, how then that could affect their mental state affecting their physical state on the table. Like you'd notice like players would go from being the chattiest person in the room to being like a little bit more quiet, a little bit more reserved. So I think instead of just like it's like anyone you treat really, you're taking in their like day-to-day life as well as their physical presentation. But yeah, for in that very like specific case where it's all focused about a game, it was interesting to see how the highs and lows of sport could influence then like their presentation on the table.
So what's next for Georgia? How's the experience shaped you and your goals and professionally, and how are you taking that experience into the future now?
So I think it's put me in like yeah, a really cool place because I now have like a bit of experience behind me as well. So I think, yeah, just getting that experience can sometimes be the hardest thing. So with a lot of applications for sport teams, they want you to have like that experience of traveling international with a team, working with a team for longer than just one event. So just being able to say that I have that is like pretty massive in terms of just like my experience. I would definitely like to keep working in sport, being a part of a team. Just, yeah, it was just really fulfilling. I really enjoyed it. So if anything, it's just fueled a bit of fire to keep trying to chase that like kind of next opportunity or see what comes from like just this opportunity. And then, yeah, just like, yeah, I'm going to be like a Pararoo for life. I think like watching all their games, like that is what's next for me, like just keeping up to date and yeah, just cheering them on from the sidelines no matter what.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for joining us today on Connect, and
you're welcome.
good luck with using that experience to to expand your professional career. Well done.
Easy. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Georgia.
You're welcome.